Alright, so hi again, all. I said this was a video journal, so I should probably keep, maybe not daily, but chronologically, keep more than one entry a week. I have a lot to talk about, anyway. And I don't think anyone's really watched it, but in case you have, you may have questions like, oh, how could she possibly have a mental disability, or something like that. Well, I don't think my counselor thinks there's anything wrong with me. He's confirmed the PTSD diagnosis, though. Let's start there. Let's start with how I know, how I feel, how he knows, whatever. The PTSD bit. I I have not had the greatest life experiences. I've had some great ones, but I've also had some really, really bad ones. A lot of which stem out of my childhood. I had adults around me who were very unstable, very violent. So I think some of that comes from that. And then also I've been in a relationship that was very abusive, and I can't go in Best Buy without intense fear. I can't see a certain color or a certain make of a car without so much fear, so much intense fear. And one of the other things he mentioned was my social anxiety, the anxiety I get going public places without someone else with me. Like the grocery store. I hate going to the grocery store alone. It freaks the hell out of me, to be honest. I don't like... I have a feeling when I go places alone that people are looking at me. It makes me feel very vulnerable. I don't like it. It makes me so uncomfortable. Just looking at cereals, and if there's someone else in the aisle, it's like, oh my god, they're looking at me. They're judging me. So he definitely thinks that's a factor into it. And then I don't do being surprised well. I scream, I jump. It's probably not a good idea to surprise me after my boyfriend got me a knife for my birthday. There's a very long story behind the knife. It's a short little thing, only about this big, but if I have that on me and you try and scare me, things may not end so well. I do have nightmares. Most of them involve trying to run away and not being fast enough. It's weird because I can lucid dream, so even if he does catch me, I can rewind and start over, which is good, I guess, but then I'm still replaying the same nightmare. And then I wake up and thankfully it's over, but nightmares aren't fun. So he definitely thinks, solid on the PTSD diagnosis. Now, I mentioned before that some of my counselors in the past thought it might be borderline personality disorder. He doesn't think that because he doesn't get that relationship instability, because it goes beyond just being unstable in relationships with friends, with more than friends, family, etc. And then he doesn't necessarily think it's bipolar 1 or bipolar 2 because I don't have manic states. But at the same time, I'm also taking an anti-seizure medication that could be hindering those mania states. I do have incredible lows. Like lonely, suicidal thought type lows. When I get very lonely, I feel like no one cares about me, because I could reach out to someone, I could text someone, call someone, but why aren't they calling me? Do they not care? is what's wrong with me? Why don't they care? And sometimes I turn angry, or sometimes I just think about taking a bath and slitting my wrists. I don't feel neurotypical. I mean, it would be great if I had a normal brain and all these thoughts and these reactions in my head were normal, but they don't feel normal. I don't feel like normal people have the same level of anxiety. I don't feel like they have the same thought processes. They don't feel such intense feelings when things happen to them. Like I don't think people have this same reaction to rejection or frustration or people that I do. I have a very love-hate relationship with people. I hate people. I really do, but I don't want them rejecting me. But at the same time, I don't want them acknowledging me. I don't want them seeing me, but I don't want them ignoring me. It's a love-hate relationship, I guess. I hate being excluded, but I tend to push people who try to include me away. It's not easy. See, I would love to say it's not easy making friends, but that's not it. I can make friends just fine. It's maintaining that relationship. If someone I've met and talked to a little bit asks me, hey, let's hang out, it terrifies me, and most of the time I'm like, yeah, I have plans on that day, whatever day we're thinking of. So it's very bizarre. I am an introvert. I'm probably somewhere closer to the middle of that spectrum, but I like my alone time. When I'm super stressed out, I don't like being around people. I've snapped at people before when I'm highly stressed out and I just don't want to be around them. But again, I don't want to be excluded. So, it's a very odd feeling to have this thought of, ask me to do something, and then someone finally asks me, and I'm like, actually, I don't want to do that. Let's not do that. And so the other person gets the reaction of, oh, I guess we're not friends. So, there's that. I also have a lot of difficulty with talking on the phone. I don't like phone conversations at all, unless it's my stepmom. I can talk to her just fine, my best friend, but it's not my preferred method of communication. I'd much rather text someone or talk to them face to face. And, I suppose I should disclose that, one of the other reasons I know I'm not completely normal is I'm also a self-harmer. Not recently, but in my formative years, from when I was about 12 onward, I self-harmed. Primary, of course, was cutting, as with most, but I've scratched, I've bruised, just scraped, I guess. And my stepmom once asked me why I did it when she first found out, and the only answer I could come up with is I like watching myself bleed. Which is a really bizarre answer. And I guess that's when it finally dawned on me that I may have a slightly masochistic side. But it's always funny that people don't think it's an addiction. Well, it's not funny, but it's very much an addiction, and it's going to be with me for the rest of my life. There's no avoiding that. So, I guess now, I think I'm just gonna make a list of things that I think are wrong with me for my counselor, so he can, you know, I don't want to, I'm not trying to glamorize mental disease, that's stupid, but I don't feel normal. I don't think I am normal, and I don't want to be told I'm normal if I'm not. And I just want to figure out what's wrong with me. And the other thing, I disassociate. Normal people don't disassociate. I've tried to explain disassociation to people, and they just don't get it. Which, don't blame them, because it's a very bizarre state to be in, and if you don't know what disassociation is, it's you detach from the physical world. You're physically still there, but all emotions, all sensations are gone. It's like you or the world have gone mute. I haven't been able to figure out if it's me that's been muted or if it's the world around me that's been muted. Looking in mirrors is really freaky when you disassociate, because you're like, well, I'm here, I'm physically here, but why is nothing registering? Why am I not getting any sensory input? And you just feel so distant. It's not really a fun feeling, because you don't feel real anymore. You don't know what's real and what's not. So, yeah, that, I don't think normal people, I hate using normal people. I don't think people who do not have some sort of mental illness disassociate, aside from the occasion, like a concussion maybe. I'm not really sure if they can cause disassociation, but in any case, I just wanted to clarify that I'm not making this shit up. I'm not trying to pretend to be unstable or nervous or depressed or something like that. I would never fake it. That's not what this is intended to be. This is my video journal. This is me talking to myself, my teacher, whoever is watching this. I just need an outlet, and I also need to chronicle this in some way. So, next week I speak with my counselor again next Wednesday. I'll have, of course, another entry before then, but it's hard, because I had this diagnosis. It wasn't official, but I had this diagnosis, and it explained so much, and now that's being taken away from me, and it makes me really nervous not knowing, being told that I don't fit this, I don't fit that, but still having these things that are wrong. Something is wrong. I need to know what it is so I can deal with it, because I can't deal with just being wrong in the head. That's not enough for me. I need something better. So hopefully come Wednesday I get better news, or better whatever you want to call it. So this is like a clarification video, a little elaboration video. Cool.